Jim, we'll have to settle for a point this evening. Just sum up today's game.
It's hard to speak after a game at the best of times, really, because it's all going round in your mind. But I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm down because it's 2 points thrown away at the end of the day. Credit where credit's due. Chorley, that's the type of they are. They get that momentum. They got a good crowd on. They put balls in the box, long throws, corners. They're exceptional. Been done on it again there, right at the end for the equaliser. But from our point of view, I think we do everything right as a club. We've gone through stuff on we've done a recovery Sunday. We've gone through stuff yesterday. We've had a meeting before the game and gone through stuff again. We've given them the what's expected with them without the ball. I think first half, we got a good little bit of work rate from Nick to get us the goal, which it's a good start for us. Gets our nose in the front, stifles the crowd. We get a second one. They've had one or two bits and pieces, but we've had quite a few more to go and get a third or a fourth and really put the game to bed. But it was carbon copy of Saturday, if I'm being honest, because all our good stuff and the way we were breaking up and we were playing, and some of our football at times, I thought it was good, and we were worthy of the lead at half time. But we said the right things at half time. We've come out, and second half we've gone away from what we were good at, and that's the frustrating thing, because as a manager and the coaching staff, we've worked on things all season. We've said the right things, and you want players to go out and accept responsibility and continue to do what you've been doing. We've had an opportunity with Nick to score. But I don't want to make excuses, but the only issue we did have is Alex Whitmore rolled his ankle in half time. He's heavily strapped. He should have come off, but he's that type of player. You probably need him on the pitch for what he brings. And he was a bit reluctant to play out, which ultimately made us, when they're pressing 4 up against our back 4, and we can't get it like we did in the first half, we end up going too long. And then we're thinking to ourselves, well, if they're reluctant to get the ball at the back because of Witz's injury, do we make a change? You get caught in between in that regards. And then, you're thinking, well, let's bring a target on and make sure we try and go over that press and get us up the pitch and start our attacks from the middle third. But it'll be labelled at us as a staff, because it looks like we were protecting a 2-goal lead, and we didn't want to get on the front foot and go and get 3 or 4 more. To 3 or 4-0. We invited pressure. We went away from what we were doing well, and as I say, credit to Chorley, that type of side. They loaded in the box. They're direct, they're full of endeavour. They got a crowd who getting behind them, and they kept working, and kept asking questions of us. And if I'm being honest, we didn't stand up to that. We made it a battle, and if you have a battle against Chorley, they're one of those sides that can come out on top, and that's what's happened. There's thousands of thoughts go through your mind as the game's going on. You do the substitutes for the right reasons. Obviously, Nathan Shaw's first game back, we were looking at Witts, with regards to his injury. But you were bringing players on and changing things just to get over the line in that last 5 minutes. And you want players to go and accept responsibility and do the jobs, what they're paid for, to get you over that line. And I said to him in there, we should be down in front of the way following there. They were fantastic tonight for us, giving them a little claps and saying thanks very much for coming and supporting us for the big 3 points for us. But if you don't do your jobs defensively, and it's part and parcel of the game, good sides like Chorley, who are well drilled on set plays, can get in and pull your pants down, so to speak, and that's what's happened with us. So, as I say, it'll be labelled at us. They've let us down in that regards. We're clinging onto a 2-goal lead. It's bizarre. It's one of them frustrating nights. I've been here before, and you think it's 2 points dropped. We can do so much better. First half, pleased. Second half, miles off it. So, if that's the case, you're on the risk of not winning the game. So we take a point. We're looking for 3. Could have done with 3 just to keep our, to back up the other 2 wins. And so very, very frustrating, very angry, and sometimes it's hard to keep your emotions in check after the game, but that's my job and that's what I'm doing at the minute.
Like you said, Chorley obviously came out battling in the second half. Would you say it was a game of 2 halves?
100%. While it's at 2-0, we know that. I've looked over the game from guys at the weekend, and only for probably the last 10 minutes where You know, if you compare the game to a boxing fight and someone throws everything at you and you can't knock your opponent out, come the latter rounds when it's the 11th, 12th round and they're still in the fight, they can throw caution to the wind and have a go. And that's what happened Saturday with guys that thought we were, you know, it's easy, people looking at it, it's never as good, never as bad, but we have the privilege of being able to, you know, cut the game up and have a look at it and see what went well, what didn't go well. And you know, we thoroughly deserved the win Saturday. You know, 60% possession, 500 passes, loads of efforts on goal, worked the keeper. But when they went down to 10 men, you know, after that little 10-15 minute spell, we panicked. But we did it earlier tonight. We're 2-0 up away from home, in control. But again, a little bit of credit where credit's due. The opposition have seen that, 2-0. You know, keep going. They're punching above the weight, Chorley, and they've got nothing to lose, and they've got a good crowd behind them, and they just keep going and keep going and keep going, and we've seen that, and that's what they do. They put the ball, I mean, it's a bit of a sandpit at that end where they're attacking. You know, they throw caution to the wind. They've got players who want to run round and battle and compete, and ultimately that's what's cost us, because we didn't do enough of what we did in the first half. As I say, we were okay with the ball. We were still capable of even more, but I thought there was some real good passages of play. We did the hard yards, we blocked crosses, we were good defensively, we dropped on second balls in the middle of the park, but second half, as I say, we just dropped a little bit too deep. We didn't drop enough on the first and second balls. We didn't, you know, work harder to stop crosses. And as I say, I've said it all the time, game management's critical at any level, any game. You know, we've got the ball with 4 minutes to go in their corner. We give it to the keeper, who puts it straight back down our throat. We win the first phase, we give a foul away for the second phase, another opportunity to load it in the box. We defend that. We come out, it comes back in, we're not picking up as we come out, we flick it out, it goes out for the corner, we've got to defend the corner, and suddenly it's 2-2. From their corner flag down to defending the corner with a home crowd who are getting behind them. And then on top of that, we could have lost the game. Because we go down one end, we give a poor foul away, load it in the box. Then we have a break and we nearly get in. It goes down into Bobby's hands, he picks it up and smashes it straight up the pitch again, and it just goes end to end. All composure's gone out the game, and you know, we could have nicked it maybe on the break there with Tom Walker going through, and they could have done it with the foul we give away in the halfway line, the opportunity to throw it in the box. So game management was poor. As I say, 100% game at two halves. We were the better side in the first half. They were miles better than us second half. And yeah, it leaves you frustrated, because ultimately I'm the manager. The finger's pointed at me. I've never said to the players, go and look after the 2-goal lead. You know, the message in there is keep playing your stuff, keep going through them, go and try and get a third, try and get a fourth and wrap the game up. But whilst it is 2-0, people always say it's a horrible scoreline in football. As I say, the only excuse I can make is Whitmore was injured and wouldn't get on the ball, but apart from that I can't make any more excuses. We've got to take it on the chin. It's disappointing. It's 2 points drop from where we were. And yeah, it just leaves you with an angry mindset, a frustrated night for us, and yeah, it's difficult to take. As I say, 15 minutes after the final whistle, it's always difficult to come out and speak about it.
Like you say, it is a tough one to take, but looking at the positives, it is a point gained going into Saturday.
Point gained, not for me. For me, it should be 3 points. You know, they'll be saying they deserved it for the work rate and the endeavour and the commitments and everything else that they did. Which fair play to them. You know, that's them. That's what they are. That's their identity. You know, diagonal balls, long throws, set plays, excellent. Endeavour, work rate, commitment. So their manager will say, yeah, we deserved it for that. And they could have even won it. From my point of view, when you're 2-0 up away from home, you know, in a good place, with players you can, you know, even without playing as flat out as we can do. I think there was spells in the first half where there was some good football, and obviously got our 2-goal lead. And you think, great, go on then. Go and help yourself to a third, fourth, and make sure that we put the game to bed. But the second half is totally against the way we are. Whether these, well, I don't know. We'll have to speak to individuals. At the minute, it's all emotions in there. You know, when it's hard to keep those emotions intact, but we'll have to look through. But as you say, you do substitutes for the right reasons. You want people to accept responsibility and get you over the line. Sometimes the game's not going as well as it can for you. and that's us the second half. It wasn't a good enough performance, but sometimes you just wrap it up and you get through it. And you know, as I say, the finger will be pointed at us because it looks like we're trying to defend a 2-goal lead away from home. We're good enough to get on the front foot and go and get a 3rd and 4th. That's my disappointment. So, not really bothered about the point being gained and remaining, you know, 7 points from 3 games. We need to be putting 3 points on the board. That's the position we're in at the minute.
Looking ahead to Saturday, we're back at home now against Curzon Ashton, and you'll be looking for a reaction from tonight. 100%.
100%. Their manager will be here tonight, he'll be looking over it and thinking, right, we know how we can, that little underbelly that we have, you know, and they'll probably be rubbing their hands. They'll not play tonight, they'll be waiting for us. We're at home, we know we're good at home, better pitch, etc. But you know, this is one of those nights where you've got to revert back to as a squad and a staff. You know, we're the first to look at ourselves, myself, Chaddy, the backroom staff, to say, what could have we done better? You know, hindsight's a wonderful thing. People should say, well, don't be bringing another centre half on with 5 minutes to go, maybe bring another attacker on, try and get a 3rd. But when you're not playing great away from home and the crowd are trying to sucker into that net, sometimes you've got to cover up, as I say, keep going back to a boxing fight. If someone's throwing that many blows at you, you've got to cover up a little bit, and that's what we had to do. You're hoping you do that and hit them on the counter attack with a bit of pace with regards to Tollett and Walker. You know, but not even, you know, you should really look to the next game. It's the most important game, is the next game, and I probably won't think about that now until tea time tomorrow, because it'll be a long 24 hours for me. It certainly will be for the staff, and it should be for the players as well, because we've let ourselves down tonight. We've let the fans down. They should be celebrating 3 points. As I say, when you're on the pitch, it's great having the ball and going one way and playing some good stuff, and we got 2 goals tonight. We could have had a few more, and we should have had a few more. But when teams are trying to get under you and load it in your box, and you've got to stand up and be counted and do your jobs and your roles and responsibilities, we can show them, we can tell them, we can give them jobs to do. And when they go out there over that white line, as a manager or a coaching staff, you're in the hands of the gods. And that's what's hurt me tonight. But as I say, we'll dust ourselves down. I feel like just going into a dark room for 24 hours and then reset myself and then get going. That game kills you at times, honest to God, it kills you. But you know, come Thursday morning, all eyes will be on putting this one to bed and making sure that we get around the plays and making sure that looking forward to Curzon and get ourselves, you know, 3 points, which we need at the moment. You know, we want to be at the right end, top end of the table. Like Sir Brackley, Gateshead, Kidderminster, I think once a night listen to that result when they come off, they'll be rubbing their hands thinking, yeah, Chorley is obviously right in amongst it. That was a big opportunity for us tonight, and we let ourselves down, we blew it. And I'm very, very disappointed, but 100% I'm after a reaction on Saturday now, because we need to put 3 points on the board. We've got some tasty games coming up as well, so that's where we're at the moment. We'll look forward to it, but for the next 24 hours, I'm out of action.